The Polaris RZR name is synonymous with side-by-sides, and many times folks will just call a side-by-side a RZR no matter the brand. But all that fame didn't come easy for Polaris. They've been putting in the R&D time to make the RZR a household name. And for 2024, the XP1000 gets a total overhaul, bringing it to the front of its class. Now, the previous XP1000 was a great side-by-side, but Polaris did what Polaris always does. They took an already great side-by-side and made it even better. The new 24 XP1K feels completely different even from just first glance. The whole package looks more sporty, lighter, and more agile. The wheels stick out beside the bodywork further, the plastic, while more functional, looks minimalistic, and the overall sense is that this vehicle is more nimble. And don't even get me started on the interior. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Now, the new chassis under these sleeker lines is said to be 25% stronger. I'm not sure that we're actually going to be able to test that, and we never had a problem with the previous XP1K, but hey, stronger is never a bad thing. The driveline is beefier and overbuilt with stronger components from the drive shafts to the axle shafts and even the bearings carrying all of those moving parts. Polaris has put a focus on strength and reliability, so you're out riding more with less concern of repairs. This also incorporates lower temps inside the CVT for longer belt life and an increased oil change interval that's twice the previous XP1K. Along with all this strength comes the increased focus on fit and finish, something we've seen over the years evolving at Polaris, from the snow side, now over to dirt. Along with a higher quality feel is the reduction in NVH, or noise, vibration, and harshness, which right away makes an instant difference from behind the wheel. The felt vibrations and rattles are dramatically reduced, and this makes your overall driving experience a whole lot nicer, especially when you're set out on an epic all-day ride, putting in the long miles over harsh terrain. And that's what the XP1K is designed for, tackling the harshest terrains at speed. And because of its 64-inch width, it's going to go places that those bigger rigs just can't get. The all-new ProStar Gen 2 114 horsepower engine is angry at the world, yet refined and smooth in delivery. It's able to transfer that sizable power through the beefier and smoother driveline and handily break the 30 by 10-inch Trailmaster XT tires from their grip on the earth. This RZR does feature a square tire setup, so you can rotate and also carry a spare for use on any corner of this rig. As for suspension, you're getting the premium Walker Evans needle shocks all the way around, but a 2-inch body front damper and a 2.5-inch out back, all of which have 16 clicks of compression adjustability and threaded preload spring collar adjustment, so you know that you're going to get the ride that you want for your specific weight and needs. Front wheel travel comes in at 16 inches, out back it's 18, and ground clearance is a sizable 14.5 inches. Now, I've been getting used to the 20+ inches of suspension travel on the Polaris Turbo and Pro Rs that we have around the shop, with the live valve shocks and all the electronic adjustment. But the truth is, these Walker Evans with 16 clicks of adjustment give me way more than I actually need to get the exact damping that I want. This rig is a trail rocket, nothing less. I mean, I couldn't get more velocity if you shot me out of a cannon, and the drivability of this new chassis is spot on. Corner-to-corner drifting is predictable and confidence-inspiring. The amount of travel seems bottomless on all the big stuff I come into contact with, and all this without worrying if I'm too wide or going to drop a corner off the trail because, hey, it's only 64 inches wide, so I fit just about every trail out there. The Gen 2 ProStar spools up hard, and in 2- or 4-wheel drive, the power is fully usable and not feeling soft or underpowered at any point in the power band. The CVT doesn't seem to hunt or struggle and just continues to take my corner-to-corner taps of the throttle, feeling as nimble and responsive whether I come from a roll-on of 30 miles per hour or I just grab the brakes hard and jam the belt back to the post. The clutches are perfection and the throttle response is very efficient.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard.
Now the XP1K comes in 3 flavors: Sport, Premium, and Ultimate, all of which are available as 2 or 4 seaters, but today I'm testing the 2-seat Ultimate in the Indy Red color. Ultimate means, well, just that. Everything included, but for this XP primarily means Ride Command integrated right into the factory with the backup camera. And interestingly, this takes the traditional Polaris steering wheel gauge out of the equation. But honestly, I prefer it this way. I always looked at the center screen anyways for info, and they even tilted it towards the driver for a better interface. The interior is completely redefined with tighter plastics, cleaner lines, and much more open footwell area, and even finished interior doors. Rattles are non-existent, the open floor space makes for a much less crowded cockpit space, and when riding with a passenger, it gives you ample room. Now, Ultimate isn't just the built-in Ride Command with the GPS and the availability of Ride Command Plus, it's a whole bunch more. It's also Rockford Fosgate Stage 3 audio, which features 4 speakers within the cab, and let me tell you, this seriously pumps up the jams. Add to the killer stereo, the premium painted plastics and 2 optional coloration packages, as well as the front and rear LED signature lights that give the RZR a pretty unique look, and at night just set it off. There's 4-point harnesses to keep you safe, a factory poly roof, which you all know that we love being included from the factory, as well as a bull bar style front match painted bumper, and a full patent pending skid plate that protects the important stuff that you don't think about under the rig. And I can't forget the Polaris pulse bar system that's also part of this package, so you're able to plug in your electric accessories almost as easily as plugging into something in a household outlet. No more booking time at the dealership and shop rate to get your accessories put on. Nope, you can do these yourself. So now we got to get down to the nitty-gritty, and yes, there is a premium to be paid for the Ultimate package. But when it comes down to what that premium is, it's actually surprisingly not all that much more over the previous generation, considering that this is an entirely new vehicle. The Sport model starts at $20,999 US and $27,500 Canadian. Moving up to the Premium will increase another $2,000, and then going to Ultimate is roughly $3,000 on top of that, which brings us to an as-tested price today of $25,999 US and $32,769 Canadian. That's about $2,000 more than the previous generation XP1K, and let me tell you, the upgrade in fit, finish, durability, and performance is worth way more than $2,000 in my books, as Polaris has moved the 64-inch 1000 class side-by-side into completely new territory.
So now that you've seen AJ's test ride, I just wanted to give a few comments about my thoughts on the new RZR XP 1000 and see if they mesh with his, because him and I sometimes have different experiences and different opinions, believe it or not. So here's what I've learned about this vehicle after having just driven it quite a bit, really aggressively in all different types of terrain. First of all, it's very comfortable to sit in. The cockpit in this vehicle is really, really good. There's tons of leg room. I really like the handling, the front end, the power steering, the way they've got it set up, it handles really good. It's very quick handling because it is shorter than like a turbo or a Turbo R, but that's a good thing as well. The suspension works excellent. I really like the looks of it. It's a very good looking side-by-side. A couple things that I didn't really like is the dead pedal on both sides for passenger and driver is way too flat and it feels very uncomfortable. That's weird. The transmission works amazing. Shifting is absolutely accurate and very positive. I like the way the cockpit's laid out. The steering wheel's in a really good spot. I don't feel like I'm missing the tilt or the telescopic function from other vehicles. The display is excellent, and one thing I really, really liked that I found was that not having the gauge in front of the driver meant I could see down in front of me even better, even through the steering wheel loop when I was sitting in the vehicle. I really liked that, and I didn't miss having the gauge here at all, much like AJ said that he didn't either. The wheel and tire package is awesome and provides wicked traction. Suspension works great. I have really no complaints about this vehicle. Everything about it is pleasing. Everything about it is an improvement over the old 1000 XP, and even things like the doors are now sealed all the way around. This is an incredible incredibly clean side-by-side to ride. As you can see, we hit some mud, we hit some puddles, and I have basically no dirt or anything on me anywhere, so that's pretty impressive. Overall, I agree with pretty much everything AJ said. We do have similar tastes, and that came through evident in this. But yeah, enjoyed riding it just as much as he did, and gonna enjoy riding it a whole lot more.